Welcome to the WealthGenius Podcast. The WealthGenius Podcast. Strategies for multifamily real estate investing, mindset, community, success. The WealthGenius Podcast with your host, the godfather of real estate, Alfonso Cuadra, who has expansive experience in business and massive success as a real estate investor. The WealthGenius Podcast. Let's dive into today's episode.
Well, hello.
Hello, Alfonso.
What's going on, guys?
Not much. We're here with you.
Yeah,
very excited.
Yeah. And I wanted to have you. I was talking to you, but then it's like you get the email last minute, I'm like, hey, I have an invite for you, And, I want to thank you for coming on short notice, first of all. You guys are incredible investors, and I know that you're going to come with a lot of knowledge here today. But I want to know kind of where all this started, right? So I want to go back, Sib and Insiyah.
Yeah.
First of all, tell me where the name came from. It's so unique. It's such a unique name.
It is unique. It's Arabic origin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was before we started, I was sharing with you how terrified I am to mess it up, But if I just say if I say someone's name over and over, then it starts to stick. It imprints. But I want to know how you guys got started in this real estate craziness, right? You got to be crazy people, like really.
Yeah, he starts with he does the crazy part.
Yeah, fair enough. So we started investing in single family homes over the past 20 years.
Yeah.
And then, but we were also focused on our careers.
Yeah.
We both had full-time jobs. Insiyah was a high school teacher. I was working in corporate finance, and then we had the kids, and so we didn't have any time for real estate investing per se.
Yeah.
Except for the single-family homes. But we realized something had to change.
But you were still doing something.
We were still doing single-family homes.
Yeah,
so
you still knew you had to do something.
Exactly. We were doing some occasional flips. Single-family homes. We had a couple of investments. And then we realized something had to change. And in 2019, we thought, okay, let's try and scale the real estate portfolio. Yeah. And we got some education and training. That's where we met you in 2019 as well.
Isn't it crazy?
It was a huge inspiration.
God.
Yeah, but when you talk about 2019, it doesn't seem like another world? Like
it's a pre-COVID era.
I feel like every 5 years is a completely different life.
Yeah.
It's like, if we look back 5 years, our life was so different. We were in full-time jobs. We're driving kids to hockey practice all the time. There was no time to do anything else.
Yeah.
But you know what? To add on to what he was saying, in the background, he's always had an eye for real estate, and it's something that he was always interested in. Because we would drive around, we'd look at properties, but we went to Waterloo. We were looking at, just medical buildings, a lot of different kinds of things. And
you were searching for something.
We were searching, but without the educational background, you don't know what to action on.
No, but the other point would be that people they know that real estate is good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's something that I think we can all agree on.
Right.
Whether it goes up and down or sideways, that's always up for debate. But we all agree that over time, real estate has appreciated, and it goes up in value. But not all real estate is good. And not all real estate is for everyone, right? So everyone has different goals of what they want to achieve. And I think, from where you guys started in terms of buying some single family homes, I think just by doing that, you change the trajectory of that way you would retire, right?
Exactly.
But what changed, because you could have had some investments, but you decided to do what?
Yeah. So what happened in 2020 was COVID hit, and prior to that, we had 2 kids in hockey. We had our full-time jobs, and there was no work from home, right? So we'd be commuting quite a bit. I had a job downtown at a bank.
But how much would you commute per day?
I would commute about an hour a day, including the GO train ride.
Wow.
Yeah.
So an hour there, or an hour?
An hour each way.
That's 2 hours of your life.
Yeah, then you come home, rush and have dinner, take the kids to hockey.
You stuff your face with the food.
Exactly.
Because you have no time. And then oh my goodness.
You just go upstairs, change your clothes. I'd wear a suit to work every day.
Yeah.
And when COVID hit, it just gave us a lot of time. And we thought this is the perfect time to go. And real estate was still open for business.
Yeah.
So we
It
went.
was one of the only things.
Yeah, we went to Kingston for a few days, went to Windsor for a few days. The hotels there were like empty. And we had a chance to walk through multiple buildings, learn all about the real estate game, learn about all the strategies. And we purchased our first 2 buildings in the middle of 2020, a few months after COVID hit.
Yeah, and that's when I pivoted out of my job, because with COVID, the teaching environment changed completely, and our business had picked up. And it was very clear over the summer that come September, when school starts again, I would not be able to do both, and I had to pick. And so it was the easy pivot.
And so now you're in this full time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of you is.
We both are.
We both are.
You guys said, okay, we're jumping in.
Yeah, that's it.
We're jumping out of this plane. No parachutes. No going back. Right. And so what did that feel like? What was the, because I know what it was like with my wife when she handed in her resignation letter, and how that was like a really like an emotional but exciting new. You're closing one chapter, and then you're closing one door, and then you're opening up a new one, right? And so how was that for you guys? Like,
so there's a little pre-part before he quit. So I left my job in 2020. 2021, I got sick.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and so I think it was divine timing, because I didn't have to worry about work. I'd already transitioned into having our own business. But yeah, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. And so that
life-changing.
life-changing.
Yeah.
It's life-changing. Your world does a full 180. And I had to go through all the treatment, very aggressive. And that was a real eye-opener. And it was its own gift, because I was lucky. Like, there's this area where you're diagnosed, but you don't have all the answers yet, because all the test results haven't come back.
Of course, your mind goes to the absolute worst case scenario, right?
But what's interesting? The whole future just suddenly is not there.
Doesn't matter.
And you realize, like, without realizing it, you have a plan for yourself. And then when you don't know how long your timeline is, all of a sudden that's all up in the air, right? So thank God everything came back okay, in the sense that they're like, you're at a stage where it's curable. We're going to go through everything.
Beautiful.
And probably in about 8 months, you're going to be okay again, right? Mm-hmm. So we did that. And but what that taught both of us is that life is short. Time is your biggest asset, right? And so we became very intentional about how we spend our time and who we spend our time with.
And so that, like, now this life-altering moment, and you guys leaned in, really, like, you went all in with real estate. And so what were some of the next moves after that? Like,
well, you know what? When I was sick, he took a 10-month sabbatical from work. And what that showed us, because the business was like this, when he took the time off, it went like that.
Wow.
And then after the 10 months, it was 10 months, right?
10 months, yeah.
And he went back to work, it plateaued again, right? And so I think within 2 weeks of going back, he kind of...
And it's hard to go back, It's like the movie The Incredibles. Mr. Incredible goes and gets a 9-to-5 job. And you can fly through the air, but you're like, this guy, is telling you what to do, You got to ask permission for everything. Yeah. So I can only imagine that's how you felt, like, you have all this potential, and, 9-to-5, not only are you stuck 9-to-5 somewhere, but you got to commute there an hour each way, That's a lot of time that could be invested, not only to do the things that you want to do, but to spend time with your family, doing the things that you love to do. So let's say someone's listening to this and they're in a similar situation. They're commuting into work, coming back. They have to ask to take a day off. They have to ask. But they're like everybody else, where it's like your mortgage comes in on the 1st. You got your car payments. You got this, that, the other. So what should these people do? Like, how can they go down the path that you went down? Like, what is the first thing that you guys did in order to get out of the hamster wheel?
So a couple of things is one is get some education and training, and get some mentorship of people who've already been where you want to go. Right.
That's so key because that's a fast track.
Exactly. And then on top of that, I mean, one quick way to do things is partner up with somebody who can complement your skills.
Yeah.
Right. And partner with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then that's also a fast track in order to get into the real estate game where you can make passive income. You're not trading your time for money.
Yeah.
Right. Like once we started investing more heavily in 2020, we just felt the shackles sort of come off, where we had the option to work.
Yeah.
It's not like some people enjoy their careers, and I enjoyed my career as well. But there's no time flexibility, right? That's the issue.
Yeah.
You're always trading your time for money. You always have to be there 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, right? Like even though you enjoy your career, you still want that option with some passive income.
And it's like the freedom for a lot of people, and this is a misconception, right? They're like, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to get all this free time all of a sudden, right? But that first transition, that first jump, sometimes you spend more time, but now it's worth it. It's like they went from the 40-40 plan to the 50-50 plan, but now it's all for you. And the more you work up front, the less you have to work later on. So was that similar to your experience, or how did you set it up?
So when we first transitioned from work like 9 to 5 to the business, I thought I'd have more time.
Yeah, that's the fantasy.
I thought I'd have at least like 30% more time. But what happens is, you have time flexibility, which is great. But then you might work a little bit on Saturday, you might work a little bit on Sunday, but you have the flexibility, but you're still working probably the same number of hours, but you're enjoying your work. That's also the difference.
Yeah.
And you're sort of choosing what you want to work on.
Yeah. And you're doing it together.
Yes. And I think once you start scaling, you realize very quickly you need very good systems and processes in place so that your ship runs smoothly, right? And so learning what those systems are, what's going to work for you, how are we dividing up roles and responsibilities between us, right? All of that is a learning curve.
Which it brings up a really good question, right? Because this is the question that my wife and I get. It's like, how do you guys work together, right? Because there's usually there's usually one or the other.
Yeah.
Will go into it or whatever. It could be the wife sometimes, or the husband or whatever, or partners or, what have you. And, when you have a couple dynamic, someone says, well, we still need that security thing. But then when two individuals decide to move forward, and that dynamic is really, I would say, delicate. And, so my wife and I get the same kind of question, these same kind of questions. How do you guys do it? Like, you guys are just together 24/7, and people can't even fathom what that would be like, right? For us, it's just like, that's our life, But we actually want to do a retreat for couples that work together. Not a couples retreat, but couples that work together, right? Because I think that's a whole other dynamic.
Yeah.
Because any other couple, I mean, if you're gone half the day, you guys don't see each other half the day, you come home and it's easy to talk about your day. But if you're with each other all day long, like, what are you going to talk about, right? So what does that dynamic look like? And how was the adjustment, right? Because you were not seeing each other for the entire day. And now there you are.
Well, our offices are on different floors.
That helps.
Yeah.
That helps. And I think, we're not newlyweds. So we've been together for a long time. And I think, you come to the business with the maturity and understand what each other's strengths are, and you play to those strengths, right? And you come to the business the same way you would a marriage, right? The marriage is not 50-50. It's 100-100. Right. So if you're both in there to give it 100%, then if anyone falls short, the other person's there to fill it in. Right. Yeah. And then, like I said, the roles and responsibilities, I think initially there was overlap. We're both sort of doing this, or are you responding? Am I responding? Right. And I think once we both delineated that.
And how does this happen? Like, did you guys have a meeting?
Yes. We had a
Yes.
meeting. We had a spreadsheet which just listed like maybe 40, 50 tasks.
Nice.
Or
So all
40,
the
50 areas.
all the key responsibilities.
It had all the
yeah.
properties across the top.
Mm-hmm.
And we just went down and said who's doing what for which property and who's doing which function. But certain functions we split by property, right? Because, we have multiple property managers that we're dealing with. So it's a lot of touch points for one person, right?
Yeah.
And then we're also starting to bring on some help, right?
Yeah. Well, it can't be done without people.
Exactly.
Now, the other
Yeah.
dynamic is when you have two bosses, two CEOs, and then the dynamic of the people, who do they come to, right?
There's only one CEO here. It's her. She's the boss. That's it.
Good job. But, it has to be like those roles need to be defined to the people that work for you, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like kind of like that mom and dad mentality where it's like if you say no, maybe I go to see mom and she's gonna say so you can say yes, right?
Yeah.
So how like the people that work for you, how was that dynamic work?
I think it's a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
It is. So because one person that we have now for operations, she's onboarded fairly recently, right? And so we're sort of at the stage where we're handing things off to her and stepping back. And so these are conversations we've been having over the past few weeks.
Yeah.
What are our roles going forward, right? What is she taking on now? What are we doing? How are we spending our time working on the business rather than in it, right? So we're handing that part off. But it's those conversations where, okay, you're talking to her about that. So initially, for example, the bookkeeping and,
Everybody's favorite part.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
for sure.
You know what? That is so critical, and it's a challenge to find a strong bookkeeper.
Yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And when you first get into business, you start asking around who can do this, right? Because obviously everybody understands that it has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But then people come back with like quotes, and you're like, I can do it cheaper, or I can find someone who can do it cheaper. That's the first mistake,
Agreed.
Because then you have to go back to that person, and then they're going to charge you double to undo whatever mess that had been done before.
Right.
So, and I've had many conversations about this with so many business owners and entrepreneurs and investors. When the books get out of control, you're out of control. Right. And it doesn't matter how many buildings you're buying.
Mm-hmm.
If everything is a mess, it's all going to be a mess. And it's going to be a mess up here. There's no bandwidth because you always have that like, oh, this is due. This is past due. This is now overdue. Now this is overdue. And so that's a big hurdle for a lot of entrepreneurs. And it's a big transition from if you're going from a job where there's accounting, where you just go do your job.
Right.
And as a business owner, you're kind of wearing all these hats, especially at the very beginning. And now you have to learn how to delegate. And also there's certain things that maybe you're not used to, right? Like accounting and, keeping track of your receipts and all these things. So, that could be a transition. Would you agree?
I would say so. But in our case, we're very fortunate. So Sib has a very strong background in finance. So he's used to running massive business cases, right? Where there's like hundreds of line items.
Nice.
Right? And they're gigantic portfolios and projects that he works on. So he brings that with him to the business. So it helps. And that's what allows us to ensure the numbers are crisp. Like he can't tolerate any inconsistencies in the numbers when it comes to the bookkeeping and underwriting deals.
I love that.
Yeah, we've been very careful to structure the systems and processes because we had very good mentors and we've talked to a lot of people too through our networking. And so we've been very careful to structure things properly up front.
I love that so much.
Because if you don't do that, then you're going back, to your point, you're going back to clean up the mess, which takes double the time, right?
Yes.
And then you can't make clear decisions until you know what's going on with your business.
Yeah.
Right.
And people talk about sharpening the pencil. That means that you're going to fudge the numbers. You're going to kind of make it work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, you know what? Let's repairs and maintenance. We don't need that big of a budget. and it's never less.
Exactly.
You ever see that? It's never less than you budgeted. It's always more than what you budgeted.
Right.
And so if people are fudging with the numbers, is where people get in trouble. And so I love that you have that skill set and you made that transition, and you guys had this tough time with, now that you overcame and you see you have a new perspective on life, and so you're not wasting any time. And so what are some business tips? Give us some business tips that you can offer the people listening.
So educating yourself is really, really important, right? Because you need different platforms to run your business. You have to figure out what works for you. You have to figure out what your strengths are, and you need to have people in there to fill up all the other roles, right?
Right. And I think what's also important is connecting yourself with the right people. So we have a whole power team, like property managers, realtors, lawyers, accountants, contractors, right? So the first contractor that we used was not the one we stuck with, right? So we've gone through the hurdles to find the right people that we can replicate the process with and scale the portfolio, right?
Yeah.
So I think connecting yourself with the right people, and then if you happen to connect with somebody and they don't work out, make that decision quickly to change over.
I love that. Hire quickly, fire even faster.
Right. If you need to, yeah, exactly.
But when we do move on from someone, we never burn bridges, right? So it's a very amicable split, and it's we always leave it open to work with them in the future.
Yeah. But if you do it quick enough, then you don't burn that relationship, and you're actually helping them. Because if you are rewarding bad behavior, it's going to continue on, and they're going to think they're doing something great until one day it just gets overwhelming, and you have to pull the business, and then people get upset. The feelings get involved, right? People get emotional. Yeah. So education,
exactly.
team.
And then on top of that, I mean, what helped us grow quickly is we spent a lot of time walking through multiple properties.
I love that you said that. I say that to my students all the time. Walkthroughs. How you know what it looks like if you haven't walked a deal?
Yeah, you know what? There was a building once that we were looking at in Niagara, and we really liked the building. We put in an offer. There was a multiple offer situation. We were kind of going back. The realtor was going back and forth with us and someone else. Anyways, we ended up not getting that property. But because we had walked it, run the numbers on it, it was a 16 unit. So when the 16 unit in Kingston came up, we knew right away what it's worth. We bought it on sight unseen, right? So, but you can do that if you've walked the other buildings, right? If you don't have any context, how are you going to know? So it provides a lot of knowledge.
And like running numbers, the more numbers you run, the more you understand what the rents are in that market, what the vacancy rates are in the market. The more property managers you speak to, you learn about the areas in the market. So you got to be constantly connecting with people as well as doing your homework with the numbers and the models, right? And have a really good spreadsheet model that you're using, that you understand inside out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I love it. So what does the portfolio look like for you guys now? Where are you guys now? And what markets are you investing in?
So we're in a few provinces across Canada. We're at 14 buildings right now.
Woo!
Thank you.
That's sexy. That's sexy.
Sorry, 2 or 3 of them are single family though.
Nice.
But 14 overall properties. And we're a couple of those we're looking at land development for as well. So a couple of those multifamilies came with extra land. So we're looking at developing them into between 40 and 60 units, hopefully.
Nice, nice. And why did you choose to start investing outside of your local market?
So through networking, we've learned different markets very quickly in terms of we share information with fellow investors as well, and they'll share information with us. So we had some friends investing in Moncton, we had some friends investing in Edmonton, for example. So we would just talk to them and we would trade information and see what's working well, what's not working so well. And so that's how we sort of expanded our portfolio into different provinces. So we're in a few cities in New Brunswick. We're in Alberta as well. We're in Ontario, and then we have a couple of single families in different provinces as well.
Nice, nice. Most people, when they start investing, they're like, "Oh, I need to invest in my backyard," and that's like a mindset adjustment, And I think it's it's actually more work if you invest around you, because if something goes wrong, what do?
You want to go see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go see it.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Yeah, if it's far away, then you call somebody,
Right.
And,
Exactly.
Especially when you're dealing with larger buildings, it just makes it a lot easier because you can manage it from far. Did you have that issue that you had to make that little switch in your mind that you don't need to touch it all the time, or look at it all the time? It's just.
Well, yeah, I think so initially. I think initially we wanted to see everything. But when you get a level of comfort after having walked so many buildings, you build really good relationships with the realtors you're working with, and they become your eyes and ears, right? So that relationship is very important, but also the experience, so that you know what they're talking about, you know what they're referring to, and you know what you're looking for. What's the product that you want to purchase, right? So it becomes a lot clearer that way.
Nice. What's your favorite thing about real estate?
It's a good question.
You know what? For me, I don't know. It's fun, but I love the freedom. I love the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Teaching, honestly, I did love it. I loved my students. Coming in every day was amazing to these kids. But you can't even go to the washroom when you want. Honestly, you can't, right? And your vacation is fixed, and you can't even, if there was even if there's a family wedding that you want to attend, if it's during the school months, you're not allowed to go, right? So it becomes really limiting. And you kind of have to decide what you really want for yourself and your family, because those moments with your family, your kids, it doesn't wait for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a time freedom and the location freedom, and the financial freedom. Obviously, you need the financial freedom for the time freedom and the location freedom, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It sucks to have the freedom and then you can't do anything because you don't have any money.
Yeah. So the flexibility
that's true.
and the freedom that real estate has given us, so we're very grateful for that. Also, I've always enjoyed just looking at real estate, being around real estate. I've always had a passion for real estate. And so just seeing the transformation when we renovate something and take it from here to here, right? Mm-hmm. Or if we're talking about building something now, 50, 60 units. So we're talking about plans. We're looking at floor plans, all that type of stuff. Talking about the unit mixes, right? So it's a creative process, and I sort of enjoy that.
Yeah, I agree. I love the creativity of it.
You guys are rock stars. Real estate rock stars. What's your mantra? What do you live by? What inspires you? What was that aha words or that you heard somewhere, or something that you live by?
Yeah, so I heard these words a long time ago, probably when I was in grade school or high school, like early high school, late grade school. And it's work hard, play hard, and pray hard, right? So
I love that.
So you got to work hard, but you also got to play hard. What's the point of working hard if you're not playing hard?
Yeah.
And if you're only playing hard, then you don't feel good unless you worked hard.
Yeah.
So just work hard, play hard, and pray hard, and everything else falls into place, right?
I love it.
Mm-hmm. And myself, so I read this quote. I'm not sure which book it was in. Maybe it was in 7 Habits. But he said, between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space lies your freedom and power to choose your decision. And in those decisions lies your freedom and your happiness, your growth and your happiness. Right? So for me, I think that's really important because it allows you to understand that you have freedom to make decisions, right? A lot of people choose to be victims of their circumstance, of their life,
life is happening to me.
Exactly. And I think if more people empower themselves with their ability to choose, they can really completely change their life. You know that more than anyone else.
Let's make life happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You guys are rock stars. Our friends here that are watching and listening, they're going to be able to find all your information. It's in the show notes. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're going to definitely do this again, and we're going to see you all at the top. Woo! That's it. Let's go.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Genius Podcast. If you have a question or comment about something you heard today, reach out to the Godfather via social media or email him anytime. All that information is in the show notes. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Wealth Genius Podcast. The Wealth Genius Podcast, Until next time, see you at the top.